ATG from Kilmarnock town, got your hustle down. Streams the pool games live, makes our day come alive. Early mornings on your grind, Tesco shift unwind, but you find the time to play, stream the virtual day. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand.
And that's a sucker scratch. Look at the line. Commentator's eye. Don't say I didn't warn you.
OTG tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. A virtual cue in your hand. Amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early riser, work all done. Streams the games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. OTG tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
This for the 101. Absolutely sensational once again.
Virtual cue in your hand. Amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Just for fun, we'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
That was fantastic.
Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Right, good morning. Welcome back to VP4 TV this Wednesday morning. Bright and sunny in southwest Scotland, dry for once and fairly mild. We have a round 2 match in the 2026 Virtual Straight Pool World Championships. Round 2 for Acero, who came through a round 1 match against Baxter fairly comfortably, 200 points, I think, to 84. Tommyy hasn't played a match. He had a bye in the first round. So we've got Acero from Japan, former champion in the straight pool, and Tommyy representing Germany. Acero was in 2 minutes ago, had a quick look around the lobby and has disappeared back out. Tommy's just arrived. I would assume that Acero is going to come back in at the last minute and we should have a match on. All races to 200 on the winner's side. And of course, we had a match last night with Albinario and Larry, and neither of the two of them were all that impressive. I mean, Albinario started off fairly impressively, threatening to topple Cobra's high run of 92. Albinario fell just short of that, but I think he had a second contribution of about 50. I don't know what Larry's top run was. I wasn't really paying a great deal of attention to it because Larry was going in fits and starts for most of the night and just couldn't get going. And when you can't put the scores on the board, you're heading for defeat, which he was. Tommy's gone in to try and get some practice. He won't get much. As you can see, we've still got this issue in the lobby with Tommy's German Raum, R-A-U-M. Steve still to do this update. He was talking about doing it a week ago and he sort of chickened out a little bit because he's had other issues. None more so than the problem that happened the other day with duplicate tournament rooms appearing, which he seems to have fixed. But anyway, the good news is that both players are here and we will be going at the top of the hour. So it's, well, it's 12 noon for Tommyy. He's an hour ahead of me. For Acero, again, assuming he's in Japan, he's at least 7-8 hours in front of us. So it's going to be mid-evening his time, which I suppose is not too bad considering some of the times he has to play matches at. But both of these guys are going to warm up once this tournament room is up, which it is now. And we'll have the lag for the break. And of course, important as ever in straight pool to win that lag and stick your opponent in. That looks far too heavy from Tommyy. Acero on the right-hand side. And Acero will give Tommyy the opportunity to break off. Now, in fact, tell a lie, how come Acero won the lag and he's going to break? Well, there's something unusual going on there. I don't know what the hell Acero was trying with that break. Well, that's the weirdest That's the weirdest start to any tournament, straight pool tournament match I've seen. That really got me confused. How weird is that? You know, acero wins the lag, decides he's going to break, does something crazy around 3 rails, but doesn't get away with it. So he's taking a bit of a liberty there, acero. And the table isn't great, so, you know, Tommy's going to have to work already to put something on the board here. Acero, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's he wants to get this over as quick as he can. He'll certainly do that if he keeps doing that all night. And he might not come out on the winning side doing it. Right, time for a quick look already. The angle in the 4 isn't perfect, but he can... he's going to have to jack up if he wants to try and nudge stuff out the way. And as you can see, the angle wasn't good enough to get a lot of purchase in that cue ball, and he may well be dead here. It looks very likely, unless he starts going for crazy cuts up the rail in this 8 ball, which I think he's doing. That's a good shot, but has he got anything to follow it? Well, he's got a thin cut either way on the 3 ball to the left corner pocket or the 5 ball, or he has the combo. And he's going for the latter. So it's been hard work already for Tommyy. And we haven't even discussed the break shot, because there is none. I mean, there is the cut on the 9 ball down the rail from, you know, in the table to get into the pack. You've also got this issue here with those 2 balls doing nothing where they're sitting. So, and it looks that he's already going to be, is he going to try and squeeze this 7 ball? He's not looking at it. He maybe can't get enough of it. And the 9 ball that we spoke about a minute ago is already going to head south. So now he has to hope that something happens here. And this cue ball, well, it could find that gap. Maybe not. I think he's going to hit the 14. And it does. It just seems an awful lot of hard work for Tommyy, and he's only got 8. He's only got 8 points on the board. Well, again, he's sort of stalled in the middle of what was there, but again, he's got the bailout ball up table as we look. Still got the problem on that side with those 2 balls and running out of options to get there. And this needs to move. Now, well, he's put himself in a spot where he can get rid of the 7. I think right now is the time to do it, because he probably won't get there any other time. And looking also, that 11 ball right at the corner of the pack, which is probably better than nothing, but not great. He could obviously still have an option with the 2-ball, but the 2-ball you'd have to be probably down here where the donut is to cut that and then go into the pack that way. So he's got 2 options and neither of them are good to keep this run going. Well, 14 ball next. But what's he going to go for? I mean, you could get on the 2-ball this way and go forward into the pack. Now where he's ended up, he's going to be forced into taking the 2. And probably run forward and avoid hitting that 11 ball and try and come around to leave himself some sort of shot. I don't know whether he's going to go forward. Looks like he is. This is not a great setup. Now he seems to be hitting the centre of the cue ball. Well, he's decided to stun it around. It's going to be a distance away from it. Now the question is can he get... well, this is similar to a shot we had in another match where he's going to miss the pack completely. This is too far towards the back of the pack. And they'll do well to get any sort of touch on this pack. And maybe the best thing for him would be to not hit it at all and leave acero nothing. It could end up bad. Well, he got a touch. He got a touch. But he's not going to have anything. He can run to the long grass. He's got a perfectly easy safety shot here. I don't think he wants to stick this into the pack. I mean, you play that 12 ball as your goal is to get right down on the rail. That's too heavy, way too heavy. And we noticed that Tommy's lag was way too heavy as well. So, you know, he's not quite got the touch and weight yet. Or his mouse has just set that wee bit too high in the sensitivity, but he really wanted to nail that and roll it dead onto the rail. And acero looks as if, well, I presume it's as thin as you can get it. Well, he's called a ball. I don't know what he called. And a ball did go in, and I don't know whether that was the one that he called. Well, it isn't. It's a missed call. And acero's getting crazy here. A crazy break shot that he played. And now, with no patience whatsoever, he's decided to go for something crazy in the pack. I don't know what he called because I missed it. And Tommy's straight back in here. So I've got no clue what's bothering acero, but he doesn't seem to want to have the patience to hang around. He wants to get on with things, certainly, but well, he's playing me a lot of confidence, but we haven't really seen him play yet. He's not had a proper visit yet to see whether he is going to contribute something when he does get that opportunity, because the 2 shots we've seen have been, as far as I'm concerned, crazy. I don't think I think the most important thing for Tommyy is that he does make acero feel the pain if he can. His first visit only got him 15, I think. So this is his second chance to build up this lead. Or maybe acero thinks that Tommy's not going to have enough game to get away from acero too much. Now, I think, having said that, acero's first match against Bankster, I think according to the stats, acero's high run was just 35, which was at that time the highest run of the tournament. So if you want to be really critical, he wasn't all that impressive in terms of his scoring in that first match against Bankster. This is
Where's the
godless.
cue ball going?
Well, he stays in the table. He's going to have to either roll in the 5 or cut down the 8 ball on the rail. But the balls are all sitting for picking off now. But again, first glance, we're looking to see where a break ball is, and there's not really anything obvious. And I think it's almost gone wrong there. Well, I think it has gone wrong. He can't see the 2. He's got a dodgy cut in the 3. And the 8 ball's blocked up table by the 1. So he's got himself in trouble immediately here. Just on a run of 6, he's going to have to bail out on this 3 ball. And these are dodgy to read. He's so close to it. Cue ball's going to be running away from the pack. And just caught the knuckle. And the visit ends. So, well, acero can play a combo on that 3 ball. So he can to get himself started. But this is acero's first opportunity to try and put something on the board. Tommy's 2 visits have gathered him 21 points. Well, those 3 balls at the head of the triangle, they're sort of, none of them are any good as break balls, really. He might end up using that 8 ball on the side rail to cut it from, the middle of the table, go to the long rail and into the side of the pack. That 9 ball, again, it's right in the pack as well. So I suppose a real push, you could try and use the 12 ball, but it's right at the point of the pack. It's not again, the prospects are not great for continuing the run here. And he's going to, by the looks of it, end up taking this 8 ball. So there goes the one, what have been a decent opportunity for a break shot. And, well, let's see what he does. Not got an awful lot of choices here. He's a bit straight in the 9. And how straight is he? Yeah. He's going to have to go forward and not too hard because he could end up sticking here. And that was the problem with that shot. But again, the old adage, you only want another ball, another shot. But he's going to have to get a hit here to continue it. And this hasn't worked out well at all. He can't even do a crazy cut in the 15 ball because he can't get to it because of the 6. It looks as if he's looking at some half-arsed combo here. When the better thing to do would be just to, leave the cue ball where it is and let Tommyy deal with it. Take the hit. Yeah, he's going for something really crazy here. Well, 3 ball onto the 9 and he's got it. Fair play. He's just determined to try and keep going. Playing the little billiard. Table still ugly, but with these 2 balls down table, he's obviously got the opportunity to just keep going. I don't know whether there's anything set here in this mess of balls here. There isn't really, but he's got to get in there as quick as he can. Leave this here as a bailout ball if needs be. He's trying to run forward and into them just to move something. And that's better than nothing. I mean, got a dodgy shot in the 7, queuing over the 4, but at least it's a shot. I mean, he's... well, now there's what you do. He's come into the back of the stack, almost locked up in the 3, and again, it's going to be a crazy cut up the rail on this 1 ball to stay at the table. It's holding its line. And now, all of a sudden, the table's looking pretty good. Because I think that 14 ball is certainly the one to look at as far as a break shot. Once again, it's quite at the top of the rack. Not ideal, but it's better than having nothing obvious at all. Little nudge. Again, going to be hampered. And nothing over that left side as we look to make it really simple to get to that break ball. Of course, the 2 ball could end up being the penultimate ball to get there. He might be too straight in this 8 ball as well. Well, he's actually nudged that ball further away from the pack, and now it's ideal. Now it's perfect. Although this is the ball he would have liked to have played to get on it. Suddenly this is taking shape as a reasonable opportunity to keep going here. Got to get the cue ball across this table. He's got to get this over here at least. And that's going to be too straight, I think. Yeah, it's far too straight. He hasn't hit it. He's going to get some sort of hit, but whether he's going to do an awful lot of damage is difficult to judge. Well, stunned it as hard as he could. He's blocked off. He's going to have to play a combo, and he's got a choice of 2 combos. He could try the combo with the 12 and the 8 onto the 6. He could try the combo with the 4 onto the 13. That looks the best bet. And now he's calling the 1 ball. So 3 ball onto the 1 ball. And he's got it. And again, he's just sitting awkward. He can't get to the 13. He's going to have to play a 3 ball combo, or he can't get to the 9 either. I think the 3 ball combo is going to have to be it. 2 onto the 11 onto the 6. Yeah. I don't see any other way. Is he calling a billiard off the 5 to try to get to the 6? That looks weird, what he's trying here. Oh, he's caught the 9. It was the 9 he was playing. I thought he was trying to play the 5. Fair play to him. He's got there. And again, this looks like a hell of a amount of hard work. And he's amassed 24 in this visit. I'll just picking his way through what he can get at here. And really, as long as he picks them off in the right order, he's going to open everything up. The 9 ball needs to get out of the way sooner rather than later, because that's causing an issue for a couple of balls going into that pocket there. Well, he's gone loose with the cue ball. Still okay, though. She's maybe a bit straight. Yeah, bit too straight. He's just got to watch the pace of the draw. And he's overcooked it. He's still got the bailout though, but... Or has he? Has he? That is very tight. Yeah, he just got there and no more. I'll tell you what, I mean, some of the shots here to keep this run going. I mean, he's really pushing the boat out here to stay at the table. So, well, 7 ball would be the break shot, but the problem is he's going to be running straight into it off this 8. So he's played the 7 instead.
Where's the cue ball going?
And the cue ball has gone south. The run ends in 32. And that was inevitable. Something like that was going to happen because he's been forced into doing things he didn't want to. He wanted to keep that 8 ball there because the 7 that was the break shot ball, he was bumping into it. So he took the 7 instead, ended up scratching, and the run finishes in 32 on his first real scoring visit, that is. And Tommyy is back in. And Tommyy, well, he's got a similar problem here. He's gone too square in this 7 ball and going to have to work the cue ball to leave himself anything decent as a break shot on this 8 ball. And again, it's just 1 shot too many. He's overcut the 7. And Tommyy comes away from the table, just 1 additional point. And this is letting acero back in straight away. But again, I think he's got an angle. And how's his luck? Well, he has a shot. I mean, there's always the potential in these straight pool matches that, you know, you have one short visit like, you know, Tommy's just had from waiting like maybe 10, 15 minutes to come to the table when acero was running up his little visit. And Tommyy could be back to square one here where he's got another 15, 20 minutes having to bide his time. And you just don't want to get impatient when that scenario unfolds. You have to keep your patience. You don't want to get desperate when you do get a turn at the table and do anything crazy. Well, this is far from ideal for acero, but he has a shot to do some damage here. Again, the way he's landed is really awkward. He's got the shot though. And also he's not really got what you would call an ideal break shot. I suppose what looks to be the 10 ball is about the best of what there is. He may well commit to that one. We'll see. 7 ball is called for the little combo. And is that the 9 ball or the 13 ball? The 9 ball would be good to get himself as best as he can on that 10 ball. I've no doubt about that. So that could be the pattern, you know, deal with ease, get onto that 9 ball and get good in the 10, because he's certainly high enough into the pack to get a good solid hit on them. Well, that's going to change. He's going to have to take the 9. So now it just means that he has to do a more controlled shot to get to this 10. He's checked it up and he's got a pretty good angle for the break shot. Cue ball stays free and he's got options. So he could try and tidy up the mess at the back of the stack here. And he's already got potential break ball with the 12, but again, that might not stay there long because there's going to be some sort of bumping and banging going on to try and improve the layout. Tommy's now sitting 29 points behind and counting. So he's going to be under a level of pressure to perform as and when he gets back to the table. He's going to have to put a contribution together to get back into this. Well, the angle's there. He's got a little bit of a hit, but he's missed the pot doing it. Maybe trying to squeeze a bit out of that angle, a bit more than he could, and he's missed the pot because of it. The run ends in 21. The lead is 31, and Tommyy has a shot. Well, he can use that ball over the pocket there to get into this bunch if he wants to try that after having potted the 6. So he has that option. He could run forward on the 8 ball as well. Well, Tommy's prospects are not going to be great if he can't utilise this opportunity here to get himself back in it early on, and he might have just locked himself up here. Yeah, he's almost done himself again. He's got well, what's he called? He called the 13. Does that 12 cut onto it? It certainly does. Cue ball's heading downtown. Already got himself in trouble. And now, of course, with the cue ball running loose, he's still got one more opportunity on this 1 ball. So we're already on to plan C. The table's not great for a break shot. That 1 ball is very, very close. In fact, I think that's encroaching. It's over the line, so he's going to get rid of the 1. It's his only option. But how good is he going to be after it? Well, it's actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. He's now got an issue with the 2 and 4. The 2 ball could be a break ball. That one's too far to the back of the stack. Well, he's got to work on this immediately, really. And he can play the 3 ball and try and spin around the short side of these 2 balls so he can get rid of one of them. Or play the bump. Well, he's actually bumped what would have been the potential break ball out the way. The 4 ball, again, is too far at the back of the pack to be really great. He's going to have to get rid of it anyway. Well, this is going to be interesting on how he tries to keep this visit going. It might be just cut and run. Take what you've got. Let Acero do the crazy stuff. But don't take any big risks. That would be my plan. It's early on in the match. You don't have to get desperate too soon. Well, he can go forward and try and spin into the back of the pack here, but, you know, he's going to have an awful lot of weight in this cue ball to do any great damage. He's trying to draw into it and get a hit. It could either be good, bad, or ugly, or that, and miss him completely. All because the ball was too far at the back of the pack. And now, just to safety. Well, that was hard work just to get 9 points. He's still, 22 behind, is he? Something like that. So not a crisis yet. And now we're going to get a bit of tippy-tapping. The odd point getting lost here or there. As Acero just done there, not getting to a rail. And that's a better shot, getting distance. So now it gets touchy. Acero's now looking at this pack. Is he going to call something crazy already? Is he convincing that 8 and 11 ball are going to do something? Well, here we go. We're about to find out. He's not prepared to hang around. This is going to the job by the look of it, this 11 ball. Yeah, it was never online. And, you know, Acero can keep doing this all night, provided Tommyy can make the most of it and get himself right back in this match. And he's got a ball to start with. You know, Acero's taken on crazy stuff, convincing himself that 11 ball was going, and looking at it the way I looked at it, there's no way it was going. And this is just playing straight into Tommy's hands as long as Tommyy can get some scores on the board. It's allowing Tommyy to come right back in it. Well, clearly, acero is going to live or die by the sword. I mean, he's just not prepared to be patient. And obviously, it's prolonging the match. It's getting later at night for him. So acero is more than in a hurry to try and get this done and dusted. But it could be his downfall if he carries on like that for the rest of this evening, as far as he's concerned. Well, you've got to get rid of the blockers there, Tommyy. The 3 ball, the 7, and whatever other ball that is, the 15. They have to go because they're clearly creating an issue that side of the table. Well, we have a 1, sorry, not a 1 ball, a 9 ball that could work as a break shot. Those 2 balls are in the pack. He's going to have to cut the 5. Or he's going to have to try and squeeze. He's looking at playing the combo, the 11, sorry, the 13 and the 15. Manages to get that out of the way. Well, now the table is in not too bad a shape. This is, again, just causing a problem. It's the one issue that's left in dealing with. Well, you can certainly get rid of the 10 now. That'll deal with the last remaining problem in the table. Now it's critical he gets the pattern right to get to this break shot, presuming it's going to be the 9 ball. Well, he's nudged the 4. Sorry, it is the 4. He's nudged it. And he could play the 13 and come up into the gap to get rid of that 4. He's going down table with the 1. He had an opportunity there to get rid of it. He's still reasonable enough. You just don't want to leave things too late. You see, this has gone too straight now. He's bolt straight on this. And now he's in that no man's land region. But now he's going to have to leave the 4 ball as the penultimate ball to get to this break shot. So it's critical that he gets the angle. He's got the angle, so straight off the rail and up would be the order of the day. And he needs to go far enough to leave himself a decent enough angle to get a solid hit. Just wondering whether my chat window's working. He's finished far too straight. Well, he's nudged a ball out. Let me just do a test. Oh, it is working. Seeing there's nobody saying anything, I thought I'd do a quick test to make sure the chat was working. So Tommyy is edging ever closer to acero. He's going to be hard pushed to get a ball after this one, because this pack is not sitting great. Is he still okay for the 4? Yeah. Well, you've still more or less got a triangular ball sitting here, not doing an awful lot. There's a 3 ball that would allow you to get a bump, but he didn't go far enough to get that, so he's going to have to make do with what there is. Yeah, this is not great at the moment, but he can get something here possibly off this cut. And he's missed them again, but hit them coming back. Nudged the 8 ball into play. He's still got a bailout. So it's hard work for Tommyy trying to keep this visit going. Oh, somebody is there. Good morning. Or is it afternoon yet? No, it's still good morning to Cobra. Well, I don't know whether you've been there watching any of this, but Acero's he's gotten crazy on a number of occasions, none more so than the actual break-off that he tried. That was crazy. He won the lag, and against the sort of the norm, he decided he was going to break off, did something stupid. Tommyy didn't really get a score on the board. And then he's on his sort of contribution that he did make, which still I think he got a 32. He was doing various sort of combos and billiards to keep that one going. But acero, I think, has just made up his mind. He's got no patience to hang around. If there's something there that's a possible shot, he's going for it. And I don't know whether he's taking liberties because it's Tommyy. I have no idea, but Tommy's visit ends in 19 and the inevitable has happened. But the scoreboard's a lot better looking than it was 20 minutes ago. He's back to within 2 points. But let's see how crazy acero's going to get here. I don't think this is all that bad a setup. Well, he's nudged into the 13. The 12 is a bit tight to the pack as a break ball. So we're not too far off the sort of setup for the penultimate ball to get there. We'll see if it's going to be the 12. It's highly likely it will be at the moment. I can also see why acero's high run in his first match was 35, because if he was doing stuff that he's been doing in this match, it's well within reason that he's failing to construct a sort of high score threatening run. He's certainly playing fast and loose, no doubt about that. Of course, that's, I think, how he ended up his last visit here before this one. He ended up scratching with the cue ball running loose. Well, Benario's finally fallen out of bed. Not all that impressive from Benario last night, but got a decent run and a couple other chunky runs to, well, take the match away from Larry. Larry ended up sort of drying up. He was like a dry well, Larry, last night. He just couldn't put contributions together. Loads of mistakes from both players. And now acero, having broke off, has now got himself immediately in a spot of bother, hampered over this 6 ball, but a simple enough 14 to keep going. And these have all got that little, you know, they've all got that little gap between one another. So it is it's like picking through this with a fine tooth comb to pick your way out of these and not creating problems that aren't there. So he certainly doesn't want to be nudging stuff if he can help it. He just has to try and pick his way through this clean. Yeah, he had a good run of 87. You know, he was threatening to get there, but that was really the one major contribution by either player worth mentioning. I think Albie did get a 50 or something later on, which was really the one that killed the match at the end of the day. Now this table, well, you would say the 9 ball would do. That could be the one he's working around. 6 ball, obviously, sort of in the way as it's sitting. Nine ball gets nudged into further play. That's actually made it a lot better, that little brush in the 9. So 1 ball, get rid of the 6 ball, do you? Or do you take that 4? He's a bit squarish in the 4. You know, you want to play this and avoid any bumping here. So he's now looking at the 6 ball where he could get a brush in the 9 as well. He's got to be careful. Well, he has brushed the 9. And now it's anybody's guess what we're going to use as a break shot here. That's now killed what was a decent break shot. And the last resort would possibly be the 2 from the long rail into the pack. But, you know, he's going to have to run the cue ball here over the side to get the 4. So now, middle of the table, somewhere like that. Do you want to go any more shallow than that? And now, of course, with all of that going through his head and trying to manoeuvre the cue ball, he's ended up missing the pot anyway. So that visit was 21. The lead is 23. And Tommy's not got anything good going from here. Yes, he's got the bank. Cue ball's running. It needs to slow up. He's going to go too straight. Well, everything about that ended up good, but he's got an angle, but he'll do well to get a lot of damage here. He's going to have to really nail this. Hit the amp on. Caught the top of the pack. He's got a ball, and that'll do. I don't know whether he wants to get crazy here. He's got a bonus ball. He's on the 10. And suddenly, that bump there has pretty much opened everything up. Yes, there's maybe a couple of blockers into pockets from a certain side, but it's a lot better than it was looking 30 seconds ago. Well, let's see if Tommyy can really get this contribution going. There is the possibility he could leave the table here in the lead. He hasn't done that yet on these visits when he's been given that chance, but Now would be a nice time just to turn the tide. Let me read that. Cobra says, can you not put the Japanese flag against SBD's name? When I played him, he had the same UK time zone as me. Well, I'm not putting flags against their name now anyway. I'm just putting the name of the country because it was too much of a fiddle. The Japanese flag is just a weird shape. It's not quite the same shape as any other flag. But that's one reason for getting rid of them. I mean, if clearly we know that he's not Japanese. I think we've came to that conclusion. We're still not 100% decided on who exactly it is yet. I was looking back at. I was talking about the high run that Semi-Pro had got. It was 179, I think he got a few World Championships ago in the straight pool, and that stood for the whole of the tournament. I was looking back at that, and well, SBD hasn't threatened to put that sort of score on the board. Although he did have a couple of 50 odds, I think, in that match that was on the other night. Welcome to Albinario. Well, I think if you're Albi or you're Cobra and you bump into Acero in this tournament, Acero's either going to, presuming Acero comes through this, that is, but the evidence I've seen today is not good for his future in the tournament, doing some of the crazy stuff he's done. He's really thrown the boat out in terms of keeping runs going. You know, he who dares wins, and that's all very well, that philosophy, but he who pushes the boat out too far ends up getting sunk. So Tommyy, I think, well, it's not sitting great again, this table, I don't think. Let's have a look. What's this 3-ball like? Well, that's workable, and he's sitting prime to get good on it. But like I said there a little minute ago, this should be vital that on this visit, at least at Tommyy, he's gone too straight again. I think he could have done with a better angle, but I think it's important that he finishes this visit in front for the first time in the match. There's that psychological boost that he can give himself if he can come out on top here and get in front. And, well, does he want to have a smack here and do some more damage? He's a bit straight. This might not come out all that great. My stomach's rumbling because I haven't had any lunch yet. I had breakfast, but that was many moons ago, about 6 o'clock this morning. Well, he's did a bit of nudging, and he's got options, but he's got to be proactive at this end of the table here, and there is the opportunity to get rid of this stuff, deal with this, go on to the pink 12, and maybe do some damage. That's what he should really be looking at doing, and getting this set up here dealt with. I'm looking around here. I mean, these balls you'd want to get rid of. And if you want to try and, you know, again, if they're picked off right, you don't really need to do any nudging. That 9 ball, I think, goes as well into the side. It's a bit tight past the 6, though. So let's see how he works this. Let's let him get on with it. Looks as if he's taking the 11. And he can then deal with the 2. And as I mentioned earlier, he could deal with the 12 and do a little bit of a nudge if he feels he wants to do that. I think the reason for the nudge is the 9 ball, to be honest with you. The 9 ball's just sitting awkward. And obviously it's a blocker from that side. Well, he isn't doing that. I'm not sure where he really wanted to be here. And now it's going to be that bit more difficult to get back to that 2 ball unless he plans on leaving that as a break shot. That could be his way of thinking, that he's going to break from the back of the pack here. He's got an 8 ball that would allow him to get down there to the 2. So that could also be in the plan. It's difficult trying to work out how players are thinking in this when there isn't something that's really, really obvious. The only one that is sticking in my mind is the fact that he can use the 8 ball to get to the 2. He could also use that to get to the pink 12. But something has to go, and he might be going down the original route here, getting rid of the 2. But where's the break ball then? That 8 ball is too far to the back of the pack, I think. Right, so we have a bailout ball up table there, or down table, depending on your perspective. And I'm still trying to work out what he's up to here. I've not quite tuned in to Tommy's way of thinking here. Well, I think he's tried to nudge the 9 ball out of the way. He hasn't got it, but he's, again, fortunately, he's got a bailout. Now there's problems. It looks as if he's going to have to go 8 ball to get to the 12. That's the way it's unfolding here. And I'm assuming he sees that. He's probably going to have to go 8 ball, 9 ball to get to leave himself the shot on the 12. I think that's now the plan. Or it could be either. Get rid of either because well, the 9 ball's no good. It's dead in the pack. So that decides what he's having to do here. He has to get that 9 ball out of the way. He needs to nip back a little bit, I think. Well, he might have to check the cue ball a bit to come squarer, go forward and just check it with a bit of left. He's got loads of left on it. He doesn't want to overdo this. You don't want to overdo this. You've got to watch the pace because you could get the spin to go way down below this to the short rail. Well, he's hit it soft enough. In fact, he's actually not hit it enough, I think, now. Well, he'll get a hit. There's no doubt about that. On this corner of this pack. Got to watch the cue ball, though. And would you believe it? He's missed the pot. You'd never have thought he would have missed that pot there. And look at what he's broke out. I mean, they've not broken perfect, but he's broke enough out. The run ends in 29. He does have a slender lead, but he's sort of handed it on a plate to Acero to quickly get rid of that lead. And Acero, no doubt, immediately is looking to do damage at the first opportunity he can get. So that was... Well, it was a chance to progress there for Tommyy, but unbelievable miss there on that ball. It was not a difficult pot, but his mind was on different things, obviously trying to get the break onto the pack, and he maybe pinched too much. An unexpected miss. And it's probably going to have to be hard work again as and when he gets back to the table. But Acero's got work to do here to keep this going. He most certainly has. The table's not pretty. Yes, he's got 2 or 3 balls to pick off, but he's going to have to immediately get into a position where he can do damage. This is tight. Little nudge here or there. Breaks another ball out, but we've still got a slight problem. Although you can get high enough onto that 3 ball, you can get rid of it. So there's ways and means of getting yourself out of trouble here, or improving the situation. This is now, even at this stage in the match, just become a sort of important visit for Acero, just to redress the balance. You know, he's allowed Tommyy to get back into this. And now something like, you know, a 50 or a 60 run would ramp up the pressure on his opponent if he could do that. That's the beauty of straight pool. There's always the potential for that to happen. You can be down and down and down and down and just put one good run together and turn the match on its head. And that opportunity is there for both of them. Well, the 3 ball looks in prime position. And, well, again, it's tightish to the pack and towards the back, but it's as good as anything. And a 4 ball that should allow him to get pretty damn good on it as well. Well, let me have a look at the line he's got here. He's going to have to run through and keep running through. You keep running through because it's going to look too straight. Yeah, he could have done with a bit more angle. But, well, he's got the hit.
Where's the cue ball going?
And the problem with coming off the angle of the pack is almost scratching doing it. But again, he's got away with it. Got a ball. Bit of a mess down here, but he's got a ball into the side pocket if it comes to it. So there's no panic. He's got a bailout. I don't know that he wants to play anything elaborate like a 3 ball combo. He'll bail out and the ball into the side. But apart from that, he's got to get his thinking cap on here because, you know, you pot the ball into the side, that's fine. That solves one issue. But you've got to then look at how you're going to keep this going. Well, he might have been trying to get out and high enough in this 11 to run the 11 in and do a bit of nudging there. He'd probably fallen short of that. There's a 10 ball at the back of the little stack there that would allow him to do damage as well. But he has to get the right side of it because it's a bit tight. Well, he's going to play the combo now. Now there's a bit of a crisis on. Unless there's something set somewhere in those 5 balls there, which there isn't by first glance. He's running out of balls to get there. And that needs to travel, or it's gone too far. He's going to have to cut the 9 and try and get a bump, or he's going to have to pot that. Well, I think he's going for the bump here. And he just grazed him. And I don't think he's got a shot. Well, he does have a shot. He's got certainly enough for the bank, no doubt about that. But probably not a lot else after it. The run is, 23? He's played the bank, played the little draw to nudge something out. He's nudged something out, but the run ends on 23. And Tommy's got a start. He's also got the cut on the 5 to get into the bunch of balls. And you'd expect him to hit that target. It's quite a big target. Can he get to the 2, though? That's the question. Yes, he can. Oh, he's went the other way. Went with a big draw. Has that done any good? Well, I would suggest, provided you're going from the back of the pack, yes, you've got a break ball. So he's also got 2 balls that comfortably allow him to get onto that break ball. I think that's bound to be the plan. He's got to be doing that from the back of the pack this time. So acero on 96. Tommyy in a reasonable position here to keep this visit going. He's having to get a hold of the cue ball here to get back across. Now it's tricky, because now he's going to have to run behind this 7 ball, I think. And he's got to control the pace. I presume he's running behind the 7. Yeah, he's overcooked it. You know, he needs to go high enough, one of the 2. And he can't get there. He's overdone it. Well, there's 3 shots that Tommy's played today. His lag for a start was far too heavy. And that shot there also was far too heavy. So again, and that's a terrible safety. Yeah, Tommy's lack of table time also doesn't help. He's hit a couple of shots far too heavy. He hit that one too heavy. That safety went badly awry. And now we're going to see acero's ambition here. He's going to be looking at trying to pull off something elaborate, I think. I don't think he's got the word safety in his mindset at all, acero. He's looking at this and studying this and seeing what he can manufacture to try and stay at the table again, like he's done earlier on in the match. But I think this time he might be hard pushed to create anything here. Very thin edge, and run to the long grass is a good option here off that 3 ball. He still hasn't called anything definite, but why is he not just playing a thin edge? It is a thin edge and it's a toughie. Yeah, he's got it. That's perfect. I mean that's a very good shot. Has he set anything up though in the process? He might have. Tommy's onto it like a rash. That 5 ball is stone dead, but there is a gap between the 3 balls. 5 ball has been called. And it's gone in. Well, what a bonus that is for Tommyy. The thin edge safety on the 3 ball by acero was perfectly well played, but he's actually set up a combo in the process. And Tommyy has immediately got a problem to try and keep at the table here, because he is well hampered. He's got a dodgy little cut, a blind pocket cut into the side on this 2. He's got a really hampered shot up table on that 12 over the 6 ball. And again, this is a tester. The tendency is to push this to the far jaw, and he has pushed it, but he's pushed it perfect. That was very well played. So we've got 2 clusters on the table. We've got one that certainly can be dealt with if you could get somewhere down here, although that's easier said than done. He's gone too straight on a 3-ball because it might have been a plan to try and do some nudging there. He might be trying to pinch something here. Yeah, he's trying to pinch something. And again, he's lucky he's got a bailout. Oh, welcome to Vince says. It is good afternoon now. And I think this is too straight as well. Well, there's a slight angle. He can do a little nudge. And, well, he's got to get good in this 9-ball so he can roll through. He just needs to nurse this 4-ball in, get fairly straight in the 9 if he can. Or if it comes to it, the 10-ball. But I think the 10-ball's the best prospects of having some sort of break shot, even though it's a wee bit further away from the pack. It's probably as good as anything. So now he can roll through. And now he can do the damage. Play the 15. Little nudge. Doesn't need to blast anything. Just a little nudge. And would you believe it? A little nudge and he's missed the pot. Taking his eye off the shot. Unbelievable mistake. You know, all he had to do was just play the shot and let the cue ball do its thing. And that's a terrible mistake by Tommyy. Just when he was breathing down Acero's neck again, he's allowing Acero to get away from him again, or at least give him the opportunity to do so. And this is why you've got to keep yourself 100% switched on all the time. Well, you just don't know how much pain and damage you're going to suffer from it. Well, Acero's got himself in a dodgy situation here. This is testy. He's got to watch the pace he plays this again. He gets this too hard. And that's probably as good as you can expect. But the problem is when you can't get into them enough, you're not going to have an awful lot available to you. He's going to be, again, well hampered to try and bail out in this 1-ball. And Tommyy might be getting a reprieve here. Well, not when they go, well, I thought that was going in all the way. It just caught the knuckle, and Tommyy lives again. Well, Tommyy showed little frailties here on a couple of occasions. And I don't think this has turned out too good either. Has he got a bailout? Yes, he does. He's got a ball hanging over the pocket down here. But that miss that he just had there in that last visit, that was a real loss of concentration to do that. Now, this is where you've just got to make hay while the sun shines here, Tommyy, because you did not expect to be back at the table. Least of all, with Acero scoring very little, if anything. And now he's in the thick of it. Although, has he got a shot? Well, he's got the 7. He's looking at a combo, but the 7 definitely goes. That looks, I don't know whether the combo's easier than the 7-ball. Has he actually paid any attention to that 7-ball? Well, I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking was the 7-ball looked far easier to me than playing that combo. He's missed a trick again. The visit ends in 3. He still trails. And you're getting the impression also that, you know, sooner or later, acero might let loose altogether and take the match right away from him. And it hasn't happened yet. But I don't know why he chose the combo as a better option than just playing the 7-ball, which had most of the pocket. Anyway, players do strange things. They might end up being sort of blinkered into one way of going about it. And now it's up to acero to take full advantage of that slip up by Tommyy. Well, Tommyy got himself in front once. And now he's back to the trailing situation. And however big this deficit is going to be, we don't know. That's yet to unfold. But one thing's for certain, as time goes on, acero's getting closer and closer to the finish line. We're still only halfway home in this match, so there's still plenty of time for Tommyy to get back in this, but he's spending more time sitting thinking about what he's just done. There's nothing better than letting your opponent stew from their mistakes. Quick look at where the break ball is. 2 balls very tight, but it's make do and mend with what you have. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you've got to study the table. I don't know whether Tommy's running out of patience as well when he was on that visit there. The first thing that crept into his head was clearly the combo. But had he looked at his other alternatives round about before he committed? I don't think he did. He didn't spend any great deal of time having a look at the lay of the table. Not from what I've seen. Next thing you know, he's called the combo and not even looked at the 7-ball. So that break ball lies in place. Again, acero's at it now as well. What a mistake there from acero. You know, he just rushed at that 100 miles an hour. And acero's visit, as far as Tommy's concerned, was short and sweet. It's just 8 points on the board. Well, I'm giving acero an excuse because it's later at night where he is. I'm not giving Tommyy any excuse other than the fact he doesn't get a great deal of table time. But the mistakes are flowing thick and fast here, and you think for Tommy's prospects, he's going to have to take advantage at some point here. His first target is get rid of the deficit. But his other target is get a ball in a hole here, because this is not a gimme. And this is going to go too straight. Let's have a look. Yeah, well, he's got an angle, and he can certainly do some damage. He's going to have to blast this. Get the amp on. And just hope that he gets something nice out and into the open.
Where's the cue ball going?
But when you hit the side of the pack like that angle, we know where they go. And of course, he scratched, and the visitors won. And now acero with ball in hand in the kitchen can take full advantage. He's on the ball at the back of the stack. Well, he's ended up too straight in this as well. He's got a slight angle, but you know the prospects were never good for doing a lot of damage there. But again, Tommyy has failed. It's beginning to get a bit frustrating for Tommyy. That's about 3 different occasions he's had chances to redress the balance. He's only managed to do it once and get a slight lead, and now goodness knows what he's going to end up on here. Acero's last visit was 8, which was a gift to Tommyy, and Tommy's just blown himself out the water with that break shot. Yes, this is tournament pockets as opposed to the normal pockets which previous straight pool world championships have been on. So these are less forgiving than the normal pockets, and we've seen that's causing problems for players. They've been caught out with the cut angles and the break shots on quite a few occasions. Which is why I privately would prefer it went back to normal pockets to encourage the scoring. We're still waiting on a 3-figure break or a 3-figure run. Well, this cue ball's got away from Acero, but he's still got the bailout. And he's still got a problem there as well on the 1 and 8. Which he's dealt with. Now, has he got a shot? Yes, he does. So we've got a 1 ball that's too far up the table. I think it could still be worked on as a possible break shot. There's a 9 ball that's in a similar position. The 1 ball's already gone. So we assume he's working around the 9. He's got the 14 ball into the side or down table, which would allow him to try and get as good as he can onto that 9 ball. But this 2 ball remains there. And he's played that well. He's held it well. Killed the pace. So here we go. Again, this is a bit too straight, isn't it? I mean, there is an angle, but it's just a bit too straight. How's the hit? Well, the cue ball is pretty much locked up, but he's got the bailout ball. And he can do a bit of drawing here if he wants to get greedy and try and chip something else out. He could pinch a bit of angle and dig in and get a good draw going just to come through them. That's helped it a little bit. Well, this cutting the 3 ball. Try to sneak round the back. Do a little bit more nudging. Things are improving gradually. He's even got potential break balls there as well, I think. Let's have a quick look. Well, the 2 ball would be the candidate. Those 2 balls are dead. The 2 ball might not remain there. And Tommyy, of course, there's a psychological thing about that scoreboard right now. The fact that Tommy's stuck there in 97 and watching Acero sort of walk away from him is a bit psychologically depressing. That Tommy's still short of that 3-figure thing. Hairpig, Steve mentioned that last night. Now, the thing about that run by John Smith, nobody over here has posted anything on Facebook or anything, so I knew nothing about it. I'm a member of a couple of the pool channels on YouTube over here, and nobody said anything. There's nothing appeared, so I was in the dark until Steve mentioned it last night in the stream. And I haven't had a chance to go and find any video for it. So I'll go and do that later on once I've had something to eat. But Yeah, that's now the new high run. But Steve was having doubts as to what state the pockets were in that table. They were probably like buckets for the same as what Jason Shaw's was. The pockets were extremely forgiving. Well, you'd expect them to be like that. You know, and that's why, you know, looking at the scoring in this tournament, I'm all for going back to normal pockets just to encourage some good scoring and to give everybody a fair chance. And I just think, you know, all these matches where there's been a lot of fits and starts, it's all just down to the fact that these pockets are catching more of the players out. No, I thought... oh, he had an 8-3 too. I thought John Schmitz was the new high run, and Steve agreed with me last night. I'm pretty certain Steve agreed. I thought that was... I said, well, so that'll be the new high run then, or something like that. Oh, well, I'm sure Shaw will still be pleased that he still got it. Anyway. Right, back to business here. The run from acero is over at 31. And this is deja vu for about the fourth time for Tommyy. He's just short of the three figures, but he's 43 points behind. And the alarm bell should be ringing a bit here for Tommyy. I think he knows more than obviously that he has to get this balance addressed here and get rid of this deficit. Well, if he stuns it across for the 6 ball, he can cut the 6 and do a bit of banging if he wants. But that 15 ball's in the way of a good solid hit in those balls, isn't it? Did you want to risk doing that? He's a bit too straight in the 7. That's not helping him. Yeah, this is not taking good shape here. He has to get good on this 6 ball to run into these balls and open them up, because I don't think... Well, that 11 ball it does go in off the jaw, but you're not really playing that. And there is the combo. I mean, that's a 3-ball combo there, if ever I've seen one. But he has done the bump. And now we have to think about the 10 ball as a break shot, unless he starts bumping it. Because there's not really a lot else on there. The 2 balls are dead in the pack. Yeah, I've never seen that high run by Jason Shaw. I watched Schmidt about 2 years ago, was it? When he was doing attempts to get the high run, and I think he'd probably, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 runs over 300 and 400 and never got there in the end. And that was over like two or 3 days. And it was being live streamed at the time. That's the only time I've ever seen an attempt at high runs. I haven't seen anything of Jason Shaw's. Nothing at all. Right, well, there clearly isn't going to be a break from the back of the pack. This is going to go straight forward, this cue ball, into the back of the pack. If he gets the line right, he's going to have to check this to go inside this 11 ball. I think, or go way out. Well, this again could end up good, bad, or ugly. There's no telling, but he's going to have to amp this up to get as much hit on it as he can. And that cue ball is spun dead. Has he got? Well, he's got a cut in the 5. No doubt about that. I don't think he's got anything going in the 7. He's looking at the 6. Was that the shot? Why didn't he take the 5? The 5 again looked easier to me, and maybe to get a little bump on something. So here we go again. Tommyy has got himself over the 100 mark, but the visit... sorry, not Tommyy. That was acero. My bad. I'm too busy looking at the bloody chat now. I'm mixing up players. Well, Tommyy will be glad that I get mixed up because he's back at the table. Yeah, but the thing is, were they streamed on YouTube or anything like that? Because I don't see any record of it anywhere. I've never found them yet. Mind you, I have to say I haven't been looking all that hard either. But I don't think they're uploaded anywhere. At least I've never seen them. Well, this is horrible. How did he end up getting here? Well, he's done the right thing there. For once, Tommyy has. And this is touchy to not leave a shot here. Up table. You just get the impression that acero's just looking to try and make something every time here. But I think he's got more thinking to do in terms of not allowing Tommyy a shot, and this is going to be very difficult to not allow Tommyy a shot unless he just takes the foul and sticks him in the 11. You know, he was always going to leave Tommyy some sort of shot. Okay, there's none of them gimmies, but he's got at least 3 options here for a pot. The 1 ball, the 4 ball, the 11 ball, or nudging that 6 ball in at the side there. There is a combo on. So there is options here. The bait is there for Tommyy. It's a question of whether Tommy's prepared to have a go at it. Well, he's decided he's looking to play the 13 off the 6 rather than the 6 into the side. This is a bit tight. Well, he's got it. He's got it. And, well, again, he's not got a gimme follow-up. Fairly straight, too. You'd expect him to nail. As long as he doesn't try to do too much for the cue ball off it. So now the hard work can start again. Here's a problem here. If only because the 14's blocking the path for the 7 into that same pocket. And this might have gone wrong very quickly. He's got a bailout in the 4 ball. Because he had a dodgy cut on this side, but he's got the 4 to keep at the table. But this here's the concern for the time being, and getting rid of this. Now he could have a go. He could have a go off the 8 ball to get to the short side of these 2 balls to get rid of one of them, but I think he might have got in the spot there. Yep, he's good now. He's got into the spot to get rid of the 14. And now he's got another problem in the side rail where you've got to be high enough up the table to cut the 10 ball out the way. The intention of selling the video, I can get that, yeah. I wonder if they sold many of them. Well, Tommy's got to take the 6 ball now, get out into the table, get rid of the 10. The 7 ball would do as the break ball. And of course, he's got that isolated 9 ball, if it is the 9 ball on the far side. Yeah. So this here has to get off the rail and out far enough to deal with the 10. And he's overcut that 6 ball by the country mile. I mean, that is such a margin to miss there on that 6 ball, right onto the short rail. And I think Tommy's flagging a bit. He's showing signs of wear and tear to keep that concentration going. But the bad news for Tommyy is he's leaving opportunities for Acero to stretch this lead even more. And it means Tommy's running out of time. And of course, the other thing is that everything's left in the set. Well, here we go. Acero's at it again now. He's now hung up the 6 ball. And Tommyy, I mean, you can look back in this match and think, how many opportunities has Acero given me to stay in this match? This is the umpteenth. And Tommy's back at the table. He was thinking there for a second that Acero could be going down the finishing straight in this match in the next 15, 20 minutes. And suddenly Tommy's back at the table with a chance to get rid of this deficit again. So this is another big, big opportunity for Tommyy. He has to make the most of it. But this has to go in the hole first of all. Oh, then ball's just nudged onto the cue ball. And he's got no shot. He's got no shot. Oh dear. Well, yes, you can try and play a 3-10 combo into the side. Yes, you can try that. But would you not be better just sticking the cue ball onto something and leaving Acero nothing? What's he called here? He's called a 3-10. But why doesn't he just stick the cue ball onto the 15? I don't see him leaving a lot on doing that. He would probably entice Acero into playing a combo in the 6-5. Well, he's still called the 10 ball here. I hope he realises that. Well, he's decided to play the safety in the end, which to me is the wiser move. I think that was by far the better shot choice there. And he hasn't left a pot on. It's just a question of testing Acero's patience to whether he's going to try and manufacture something. No, he's decided to play it safe as well. Now, I think he has potentially left a shot here. Well, there is a... Can you get enough of that 5? I don't think so. Well, you might try and play a bump on the 6 to stick the cue ball on the 5. That's a bit fiddly. And Tommyy has to get a decent reply here. This is touchy to stick the cue ball onto something. Well, there's no doubt Acero's taking this on. And if he runs far enough up the table without scratching anywhere, he could have a cut in the 6 that'll do damage. if he wants to take that. He's also got bailouts on the right-hand side of the table, which he'll probably take. He'll take one of them. So again, Tommy's safety has let him down. Well, I would probably agree with you there, Hairpig. Tommy's had a couple of safeties where he's sold out in that sense. Earlier on in the match, he did something similar. I think he left a 6-ball on with a weak safety, and he's done the same again there. The only thing that's kept him in it is the fact that Acero hasn't been able to really grab the match by the scruff of the neck and put in a telling contribution. None of them have been, really. And it's only for that fact that Tommy's still living and breathing in this match. But I think the way it's going now, each time Tommyy is getting back to the table, he's just that bit further behind. You know, the score's just beginning to mount up. Acero's now 50 short of the finish line, and the gap's getting that bit bigger. Smaller the increases that they are, but it's just getting that bit bigger, and it's asking that bit more of Tommyy. Oh, the high run in this match is 30-odd, which Acero made, I think. Yeah, in fact, I think it's 32. I don't even think he beat his high run for his first match, which I think was 35. It was the high run of the tournament at one point. So it's been none too impressive. But Tommyy, at the end of this match, if it goes the way it's looking like going, he's just going to be thinking of all the opportunities he's had to bump Acero to that one loss side. He's had plenty of opportunities to do it. Well, we've got a break ball in place. I think the 8-ball would work for that. The 10 ball's at the head of the pack. 10 ball's going to go. So this potentially, again, could be the run to the finish line for Acero. He could finish off with a flourish, but he's just he's got himself 2 straight in the 1 ball. And now again, these are tricky to judge because you're having to run the cue ball off a rail, judge the pace, and end up bolt straight like that. He's trying to pinch around the corner. He's going to finish at the back of the stack. Well, that's pretty good safety because he can. I think he can bunt that 12 ball away. No, he can't because he can't see it for the 13. Well, he hasn't got a ball to a rail. The visit ends on, what was it, 12 or 13. And Tommy's not got a sniff. Tommyy gets a ball to a rail. Well, I think for Tommy's sake, he has to hold his patience here because I think Acero's the one guy that's going to lose patience a lot sooner than Tommyy will. And the mistake's been made. The mistake has been made by Acero. That's poor. And look at this, Tommyy. This could be Christmas come early. What an opportunity he's got here to get back into this. If he can just hold it together and get these balls dealt with. He's been given a great chance by Acero to settle in here in this rack and work his way through it. I think it's where, it's time that he just takes a deep breath and makes sure he is focusing as hard as he can, because he might not get many more opportunities than what he's got now. And he can certainly make Acero sweat the closer he gets to him. He's still 38 behind. Well, if he'd gone straighter, I think he could have played that 5 ball and maybe come out for the 3 and then do the damage on those 3 balls there. I think it's, again, imperative that he can get himself, he could stun across right now and try it. He's maybe going forward, but I think if you stun across, he could give himself at least a shot. Well, he's actually drawn that. Now, was he drawn to play for the 5, to hold for the 3? Maybe he was. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but he needs to get out and get high enough in his 3 ball. Well, he's played that soft, so he's not going that route. I have no idea what he's thinking here. Is he trying to get better on it now off the 14? I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. He needs to come up past the pocket and give himself a shot, but he's drawn back and holding it. Well, that's no good. That is no good at all, Tommy. Why didn't he just bump it out to there? There's nothing set there, but I think, does a 7 go? That's too tight. Well, he's played that all wrong as far as I'm concerned. Now he's trying to get into something that's physically impossible when he's bolt straight, and now he's blown it. He's blown it big time. That's a terrible sequence of events there by Tommyy, because he had 2 chances to get onto that 3 ball, failed in both of them miserably, and now he's up the proverbial creek without a paddle and having to get creative. Is he trying to tweak? There's no way you're getting to that 9 ball, even with my bad eye. Is he going to try and tweak that in? Yeah, he hit the 7 ball. Well, that's all ended up in a shambles there from Tommyy, and how that went. That is just so bad. I mean, the plan was there. I mean, the idea I had was something along the lines of what Tommyy was doing, but those 2 good opportunities to get good on that 3 ball, they failed miserably, ended up bolt straight on it. And, well, that could be the beginning of the end, what he's just done there. Well, it doesn't matter how confident you are, Vince says, but when you end up putting yourself bolt straight, you don't give yourself any chance. I mean, 2 good opportunities to have a good shape on that 3 ball, to do the little nudge, and he never got there in any of them. He missed, I'll tell you, where he failed was not getting it the first time round. He was perfectly good on that 5 ball down the rail, where he could have stunned it and held the cue ball and got high on the 3 so he could play the little nudge. So he failed there straight away. And then the second one, where he was in closer, was even easier to get good shape, when he could have got the cue ball out to the middle pocket there and leave himself the higher angle on the 3. And he left himself bolt straight. So he's nobody to blame but himself. And I think Acero, having said that, has almost done the same thing. He's got a slight angle. Cue balls come down table, but survives, and he's got a ball. And Acero now 35 away from round 3. But I would say that Acero's going to have to vastly improve as well if he's going to get back into the business end of this tournament. He's going to have to step it up. Well, bonus ball goes in. Unfortunately for Acero, he's got the bailout on the 8 ball and has to get. Now, maybe he's had a look at the 7 because the 7 doesn't go. He's ended up dead straight on the 3, so he's going to draw back for the 7. And he's drawn back too far because he wanted to be off the rail so he could get really into the cue ball. And now his last option is the 1 ball, and this should certainly do the damage. And they've opened up. There's still the problem right in the centre there where they're sort of blocking one another either way. The 11 ball's a blocker as well where it's sitting. Well, we haven't even looked at what's a break ball here. The 11 ball might be a candidate, although it's far too tight to the pack. Right on the corner. That is very tight. Well, I think he's left himself the slight angle in this 14, so going forward he's going to come off the 2. And that's actually might have done himself a big, big favour there because that's brushed the 2 into play as a break ball, but he's actually, I think he's going to have to bail out in it because he's blocked off in the 9. He can't see enough of it. Oh, that's not worked. It's worked out good and then it's turned bad very quickly. I thought he could see the 9, but he can't. So now we're in probably plan D now. Well, 9 balls right at the head of the pack. 11 balls very tight in the corner. It's touch and go whether he's going to be able to keep this going. Well, he's certainly made sure he can see the 11. Well, this is a big break. A big break shot here for Acero. And even bigger if you're Tommyy, because you're hoping he doesn't get it. So you can get a final chance to try and get back into this. And he's going to get that chance. But now he comes to the table and he's now 52 behind. And like I said, every time Tommy's got back to the table, eventually this gap has just got bigger and bigger throughout the match. So it's now a 52-point deficit before he can have any chance of thinking of digging this out the fire. But that might be too much of an ask for Tommyy. The evidence is not good for his future prospects in this match. He hasn't really constructed anything worth mentioning. But if you're going to do it, now's the right time to do it. It would be the perfect ending to the match for Tommyy if he can get out of this hole. Well, he's going to have a dodgy pot one way or another to stay at the table. He's already gone dodgy. Yes, the 2's on, but the cut back into the side is on. Either or, you just don't want to play anything like this at this stage, but you know what? You don't have any choice. Well, is the cut better into the side? than the 2-ball. I don't know. And he's overcut it, and there you go. That's how quickly things come and go in straight pull when you don't get that shape or you get a bad roll. And now Acero is 22 points away from round 3 and a perfect chance on this 6-ball just to nudge something else. I'm surprised he wasn't a bit more aggressive there on that one, but I thought he'd have tore into that there to rip them apart. Well, looking at what there is up here, I don't think... I mean, there was a cut back into the side. I don't know whether you could see that ball. I can't remember where the cue ball was sitting, but... yeah, this is... Again, it's just a bit ugly the way these balls are in line with one another. I mean, you know, at the moment you're looking at that 13 ball thinking, well, it's a decent enough break ball, but you know, that's the least of his problems. He's got a bit of movement to do here to try and open things up, and that might help. He can go forward and around. Now, everything's fine from this side if you can get this side to get rid of these, because from this side, everything's blocking one another. And then, of course, trying to get into this area to clear what's there is again dodgy. You're just in the sort of middle of no man's land. Now he's going to have to take the cut in the 4. Cue balls want to run away. Now, as long as he gets into the middle of the table, he's going to have to probably get rid of his break ball, or what was a break ball. Needs to bounce. Well, he doesn't need to take that 13 ball. He could take the 15. But I think in terms of getting rid of this 8 ball, he's going to have to bite the bullet. So now we're looking for where the other potential break ball is, and there it is. The 7 is sitting plumb. And he's one good break shot away from round 3. We'll have a quick reminder of the schedule before we go, or before I go and get lunch. Oh dear, would you believe it? He's taken his eye right off the ball and followed it straight into the side pocket. Well, this is definitely a last chance saloon. If ever you're going to have a definition of last chance saloon, this is it. Tommyy with ball in hand in the kitchen. Got to get the 15 ball in, get around the corner and up high enough for this 7. The perfect example of last chance saloon. He's, well, how far is he behind now? It takes him on to 130, so he's what is he, 100? He's 57 behind. So the gap is even bigger on this visit. And it most certainly will be his last visit, I think. And I don't think that's come out too good either. He's immediately stalled. He's got nothing to do but either call the bank on the 2 ball into the side, or more than likely try and squeeze. Well, that's a tight squeeze to squeeze that 9 ball past the 6. He's got a 1-6 combo. He's got a 9-6 combo. neither of which are pretty. So this could be his last shot. Oh, I just caught the knuckle. The pace just let it hang there. And so Acero, as soon as he can, will look at doing the damage that's required to just free up enough of these balls to get over the line. He's got the easy combo to start with. No problem there. Well, the bailout ball is hung over the pocket. He can leave that there if he wants to, but he's going to take it straight away, I think. I mean, he could just run up the table. Let's have a look. He could run up the table far enough for this 11. He hasn't done that, which, again, considering he still needs 11 balls, I'm surprised he didn't run up high enough. I mean, if he runs up high enough there, he's smacking that 11 and busting this pack open, but we'll see if he gets there. Oh, he might be trying the big draw into them off the 1. Or is it the 9? I'm scratching my head at some of the stuff he's doing. Well, he's going for it off the 1 this time. Or is he doing it off the 4? If he can get the 4. And that's freed him up now. So now it's a run to the finish line. He's on 92, cutting the 5. That'll do a little bit more opening up. Well, I think it's Arnie time.
Hasta la vista, baby.
It should be all over. $94. Well, the problem here is that he sort of tried to marry up 2 balls, but you can get to them. There's no problem. I mean, the 8 ball clearly goes, so there's no worry. Although there's only the 5 balls here, that 8 ball's fine. There's no panic. The only worry is that those balls from this right side are all blocking one another apart from the 3, so you don't want to sort of finish in no man's land. He may well have deliberately played for the 3 for that reason. It's just that you don't want to sort of finish awkward. He's on either or, the 8 ball or the 3. And it would be a huge failure if he doesn't get the job done here. Although he might be trying his best not to get the job done here, because that's finished a bit of an awkward cutback. Just slightly awkward in the 3. When it goes in clean. Cue ball sitting in prime position. That takes him to 197. So, after 2 hours and 5 minutes, we have reached the conclusion of an none too impressive performance by Acero as a former champion. And Tommyy just not able to take advantage. Probably in another day, he probably would have. He would have scored more heavily in those visits. But eventually, Acero's got the job done by 200 points to 131. So he now, I think, goes through to play, is it German Pot Machine or something? I can't remember. Yeah, he's now through to round 3, and he is playing German Pot Machine. So from top to bottom, we've got that match. We've also got SBD against Albinario in that top half. Further down, we've got a bit of a backup here. We've got Interchange X and MC Clarkey to play. They've arranged their match. And we have not a lot happening between Stubb and Spectre Dawn from what Steve said last night. There's been one proposal sent by Spectre Dawn, which would be, 10 days ago, and he's had no response from Stubb. We've got Cobra to play Soft Break, and we have nothing happening so far with this match. We don't know what's going on there with Wanwa or Fan and Mark Shark. I still don't think it'll go ahead. Right, so if we look at the schedule, one last time, we've got the two matches that have been arranged. We've got Cobra and Soft Break on Saturday at noon. I won't be there for it because I'll be still at work. And we have MC Clarkey and Interchange X on Sunday at 2 p.m, which again is a bit of a rush for me to get home in time on Sunday. So I'm just hoping that Slim, who's on his day off on Sunday, I believe, might be around to catch that match. That should be quite a good one to see those two guys. So that's it, folks. Well done to Acero, but there is room for vast improvement. Tommyy says you didn't give me enough chances. Well, I think he's saying that in jest because he certainly got enough chances. There's no doubt about that. It's just the fact that Tommyy couldn't make the scores count. So thanks for watching, folks. Well done to Acero. Get the practice done. You'll need it for later on in the tournament. Good luck on the one-loss side to Tommyy, and we will see you again soon, whenever that might be. So until then, I'll bid you a good afternoon, and see you later, folks.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.